Good morning, everybody. Regina Andler here, and it is time for Coffee with Regina. And I have a good friend of mine. Her name is Tina Lalonde, and I'm sure I pronounced that wrong, so we'll let her pronounce it in a second. Tina's business is called Done For You Journals, and she does way more than just journals. And I wanted to have her on today to talk to you all about, why have a journal and how to actually get published on Amazon without ever writing a book, become a published author. We're going to talk about that today. So welcome, Tina.
Thank you, Regina. I'm excited to be here.
So Tina, now you hail from Canada.
Yes, from Ottawa, Ontario. Canadian, eh?
And so your last name, you pronounce it with that accent, which I just can't seem to get down.
It's Lalonde.
Lalonde.
There,
Did I
perfect.
do it? Did I do
Yes.
it? Awesome. And so you are absolutely amazing. And I met you, a couple years ago now, one of our Canfield events that we both attended, and we've been chatting ever since. And one of the things that I love so much about Tina is that she has this way of like, when I first started thinking about putting something on Amazon so that, I could be a published author and I could put stuff out there, I had no clue what to do. And I just happened to be chatting with Tina one day and she was like, I know how to do that. That's actually what I do. And so we actually created together, and I have it here, my very first little journal, which was my Harmony and Balance journal. And it was just a blank journal. And I had literally, I'm guessing Tina's going to say, I'm guessing you're going to say, this was like a really simple thing to put together. It's blank pages and stuff like. For me, it seemed like a mountain because I had no clue what I was doing, and you made it so easy. So why did you get involved with creating journals? Because I know you've done a lot of them. I referred people to you, and you've created journals for them. You've shown them the Done For You, and then you have the do-it-yourself version. Why did you get involved in this?
So originally, in 2013, I had purchased a cottage, and I was trying to find information about what the rules and regulations were about renting your property out. And there was nothing. There was bits and pieces in there, but mostly on franchising. And I wasn't interested in franchising my cottage. I wanted to rent it out. We needed to know about the regulations. So Ontario and Quebec have different rules. And so what I did was, I can hear an echo. I started searching out how to create the book if somebody else was looking for it. So I was like, it can't be that complicated to create a book because there's a difference between a publisher and a self-published. And I'm like, well, I don't want to make $1 million. I just want to make this book so I know, one, the rules and regulations, and I'm assuming that somebody else wanted to do that. So that became step one. And then I went, well, I'm always writing in journals and notebooks. The process must be the same. So I took a course on it, learned how to do this through I don't think it exists anymore, Create Space. And then I found out that Amazon purchased them out. So I'm like, this is perfect. So then I started creating my own custom journals, and I write in them every day. It's where I write all of my notes, my to-dos. And since then, I've just been creating more and more, and I love it. And every time you take a course, i.e. Regina, your course, people always need paper to write in. So they either pull papers aside. Well, why not create your own custom product as a client, a student, whatever, and keep your notes all in one place? Because I know, like me, I still have pages like this, and I'm trying to put them back in my journal so I don't lose the notes. So that's how that got started.
You just brought up a really great idea for folks who have classes and do, like I have the From Chaos to Clients, and it's an 8-week class. And you're right, people need to take notes during that class. And while I do little workbooks that go with my modules, it's always good to have, something that you could put your notes in and keep them all in one place so you don't have those little pieces of paper all over the place. Mm-hmm. And so that's actually a great idea for anybody who has a course to create their own, I guess we call it branded journal?
Branded workbooks or planners or journals. Okay. So it's different terminologies, but what the actual real term is on Amazon's thing is called low content publishing. So it means that there's not really a lot of words in there, and it's repetitive pages. So they call that low content publishing.
So does that make it that makes it easier to
Yes,
create.
because you don't have to come up with all kinds of ideas. Everybody has a book inside them they want to write. We all do. That was my first one. And but it takes a long time because you have to put all this time and energy into paper, and it doesn't happen overnight. Whereas if you want to get published or you want to get recognized, or maybe you wrote a story in somebody else's book, but in order for you to be recognized on Amazon as an author, you need a product, thus the journal. If you put the journal on there, create your own journal or workbook, you'll actually be able to link or take videos of the previous stories or other author books in your author page because you are affiliated with them or associated to them. But
Ah,
you cannot become an author in Amazon without having an actual product. But most people say, like, I want to write a book, but I'm not ready. But you don't need to write the book right now. You just need to learn the process. And what I show you is the process is wash, rinse, repeat, whether you're creating a journal, a workbook, a planner, or your actual book that you've been dreaming about. That's it.
wow. So for some people who might be a little timid about creating and writing a book, and they're like, I have that book in me, and I want to write it. I'm not really sure if I'm quite ready yet. You're pointing out that you can create something that's a lot easier. And I know I worked with you and you helped me I have my consumer awareness guide for the time management tips. And just for the fun of it, we created that into an ebook that we put up on Amazon so
Mhm.
that it's in more places. So I guess as a business owner, or just somebody who wants to say I'm a published author, why put something up on Amazon? Is it what's the credibility you get out of it?
I say two main things: branding and passive income. So the idea that you're trying to find a way to make money in your business, that's the passive income. You create the product on Amazon and Amazon takes care of everything. All you have to do is create the product. They will take care of publishing it. They will take care of sending it to the customer. If there's any issues, they will deal with it. That's the nice part. It's one and done.
Mm.
And if you decide that you don't like the cover of your book or you don't like the interior, you can redo it. Versus when you're with a published author or publishing company, you have to redo your whole book. They do not consider this we're going to fix it. No, it's got to become a new version of it. So with Amazon, the current book that you have in there, you can change the cover, you can change the interior. The only difference is you cannot change the title or the subtitle, but everything else can be fixed. The number two is the branding. So let's say you're trying to get your name out, or your speaking engagements, or you want to show people a way to get recognized. Having a product in hand or telling somebody you're published on Amazon gives you a more impressive reputation because they're going to say, oh, you're published. Even if you're not ready to write your books, like you said, you may have written books or stories in other people's books. So you are an author. No matter what, as soon as you've written a story, it may not be published. You are an author. You're just not recognized yet. So the other reason why you want to get published on Amazon, you get to keep 60 to 70% of the royalties. You get paid every 60 days. And like I said, is you own the rights. Whereas when you're with a publishing company, they own the rights and they get to decide what cover and what interior and so on and so forth. This is your baby and you can do with it whatever you want.
Mm.
The other thing on Amazon, there are three options. So when you're doing low content publishing, you can have what is known as paperback, which is the soft version like this, or you can have the hard version, like a real book. But if you also had a book, or if you're already in the process of writing a book, you can do it also in audio version on Amazon. So they give you four versions, sorry, that one, the Audible and the ebook. So you could have four methods of selling four of the same book in different formats. Now, I don't know about you, but it's all free. That's pretty good publishing, and that's pretty good promotion without you having to do much.
Yeah, and so a couple things. I have a couple things to point out there. The first thing you said was about being able to change the cover and stuff like that, and then you later were mentioning about some of the branding and branding for yourself. And I know a lot of new business owners that are starting out that would like the extra credibility so that they can, publish something and then use it as, a tool to help them, a marketing tool to help them, get into speaking engagements and all kinds of things like that. And when they're first starting out, maybe they have something that they were starting out for a logo or something like that. And then all of a sudden, they start getting a little bit bigger and then they change that and they rebrand themselves with logos and stuff like that. And one of the things you just pointed out is that on Amazon, you can go change the cover. You can go change it. So if my logo changed, I have my little Autumn Ascent logo up in the corner here. It's like if I all of a sudden decided to change that logo, I could go out and change it in my book and it wouldn't cost me anything. I can just go change it.
Yep. And the
That is
nice thing,
amazing.
the easiest part about this is you can use free tools to create and self-publish your book. And there are many places that you can do self-publishing, but Amazon has the biggest platform. Amazon has the biggest reach or audience. So why would you not want to use them for free? You could decide at one point that you're writing this book or creating this journal and you decide you don't like it anymore. You can take it off the market. The only difference, though, is because Amazon allows other people to sell your books online. So that's where the royalties come in. You don't have to do anything else. Other people will sell it for you. If it's being sold by somebody else and you are changing that book, what will happen is that part will stay with the other previous version and the new version will pop up. So you're always going to be making money until you decide you no longer want it on there and you would ask them to deactivate it. But why would you do that? It's
Right.
free.
Yeah.
Free.
And you keep saying that, and it's kind of amazing to me because, at least 10 years ago, a friend of mine was pushing me because I used to write articles all the time for a local newspaper. And he goes, "Why don't you put some together and put them into a book and get published?" And he goes, "You can self-publish." And so I went through all this stuff looking up, how do you self-publish? How do you do this stuff? I knew nothing. I didn't even consider Amazon because I didn't know anything about it. And so I bought books on how to be a self-published author, and there was all this stuff to do. None of it as simple as it is on Amazon. And then when you brought me through the process of this first journal, when I created this first journal with you, and we did my KDP account and the stuff that you need to get set up to become a published author, once we did it, I was like, wow, that was easy.
Yep. That was the other reason I was getting asked questions. So it was the same question. So I thought, okay, well, if anybody wants to create it on their own time, they don't have time to take a course, or they don't need hand holding, which I love to do. I wrote the book, How to Create and Self-Publish Your First Book on Amazon, I think in less than a day.
It's this one right here.
Thank you.
It's this one right here.
And it's small. It's 27 pages and it tells you exactly step by step with no step missed. You don't need to know all the ins and outs of doing what is Amazon and creating the account. I put you in, this is the information you need to know. The only thing you need to make sure is read their terms and conditions, because that I can't say.
And when I first got this, I went through the whole thing because you're right, it's short and it is chock full of information and value. And I was like, wow, I could put anything up. I could take one of my articles. I could take my articles that I used to write, just take 10 of them, mush them together into a book, maybe give them a little chapter heading or something, make them a little prettier. And in a day, I have a book up that I can publish. And so that to me was amazing. And I am one of those people. I've got chapters in other people's books. And so what was really cool for me was that in having my account already set up and already being a published author, because I had my journal up and I had the time management ebook up, because I was already out there, thanks to you, as a published author, I was able to connect to those books that I have chapters in. And those books became international bestsellers. And so it's really cool to be able to say you're an international bestseller on Amazon. So, I'm an international bestselling author. It's kind of cool to say that. And I know you and I have had a conversation in the past that, marketing your book can be a little difficult as far as becoming a bestselling author. And I know now through the process of working with others how to do it. once I do my own, it's a little bit different when you're on your own. When you have 30 other authors and we're all promoting out the book and we have a launch day and all that kind of stuff, I don't want to knock Amazon, but it's really kind of easy to become a best-selling author if you have all those people out there doing it internationally and telling
Exactly.
everybody because, you tell two friends and so on and so on and so on. And when you're doing it yourself, there's a whole nother level of the whole marketing. So on your end, you help people get that book out there. And
Correct.
then
I
from
teach
there,
you the step-by-steps how to get it from idea, concept into Amazon. But then the next phase of it is once it's in there, you have to promote the heck out of it. If you
mhm,
want business, Amazon will put it up there, but nobody's going to know unless you what? Tell somebody about your business. It's the same thing in networking, same thing as promotions. You could also change the rates in order to get into what they have a KDP seller special event where you can, let's say, charge your book for 99 cents. You're not going to make a profit, but the idea is to get as many eyes on your book as possible, and you don't have to do it forever. You could do it for like a week promotional thing. Amazon has a lot of tools and a lot of sales techniques that help you sell your book. It's just a matter
right.
of taking the time.
Yeah.
But if you've been procrastinating on writing a book, now's the time. It'll take less than a day. I'm telling you.
Yeah. And the thing is that you can tell all your friends, so you publish something. And so that was the trick that I learned when I did the collaborative books was to become a best-selling author, it has to be like a certain number of sales in a day. And all of the people, the hundreds of people now that I've talked to, nobody seems to know Amazon's algorithm for, what makes you the bestseller and all this kind of stuff. However, um, we had launch days where within a certain 24-hour window, that was when everybody said, don't publish it until we're in that or don't purchase it until we're in that window. And then you could do that. In one case, one of the books, we had a free download. And so literally, I'm pretty sure we became international bestseller literally by giving the book away.
Because you're showing Amazon that your book is in demand. So the more people click on the link, the more Amazon sees it. Oh, okay, this must be an important one. They must be popular. The other thing with Amazon to become the number one bestseller, there's another section, and it's the categories. So when you're picking from particular categories, so let's say it's crazy as it is, specializing in gymnastics. Well, if you wrote a book on gymnastics, there's probably not a big demand for it. But if you said, let's say you got 100 people in that one day to look at your book on gymnastics and maybe even just writing journal about gymnastics, you could become a bestseller because it depends on the size of the category and how many people purchase in that category.
Mm.
There's one thing I want to stipulate though. When you're creating these journals or workbooks or planners, don't expect to make millions. Everything takes time. And either you're promoting it, you're marketing it, or you're using it for personal use. You have to be able to be patient and take time. It's not going to happen overnight. Your book can happen to get up and online. I think actually now creating your book in less than a day, yes, but getting it up on Amazon, their promotional strategy or their approval strategy, it takes up to 72 hours. That I can't control. It used to be within 24 and then it became 72. So, and it's probably because more people are creating their own custom branded products for their business. And it makes sense. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to print anything. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to tell you about. When you do get to create your own products, your journals or books, you get to buy them at wholesale costs or what author cost is. So let's say you're selling your journals between $7 and $17. You can buy yours at $3. And then if you're at an event, you could sell them for the price that you want. So you're always going to be making money. The only difference is when you're selling it online, Amazon takes a profit. But if you're printing your own, you now have control of what you're going to sell them for at any of the events or give them out or offer them as gifts on radio stations. So I love it. I am totally in support of it. And I don't think I'm going to stop. And now I'm going to look at other avenues, other different self-publishing platforms to see the comparison.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I bought, after we created my journal, I know I purchased a bunch of them, and I actually use them as marketing tools. So
Mhm.
I don't sell them; I give them away. So I mean, I bought them. I think it was like $3 a piece,
Yep.
and so I use them to hand out to people as a marketing tool. And
Mhm.
so, from a business standpoint, it's a really good way to help promote your business. So, yeah, you're not going to get rich selling books on Amazon.
You
It's
could,
kind
if you have an amazing product that everybody wants, you could. But again, it takes work.
I was going to say though, some of those are few and far in between, because
Very
it's
small.
if you're a Jack Canfield, or some kind
Mhm.
of major published author, then yeah, you're going to make a lot more coming in through those channels.
Mhm.
If you're just a regular business owner or something like that, I think the sweet spot is in getting that out there. You have the credibility, and
Mhm.
then you use that as a marketing tool. You use it for leverage. So it may not directly bring you income through Amazon. However, it's bringing you income in because it's attracting more people to you and your services, because now they're like, oh yeah, she wrote she so Tina literally wrote the book on this. So she knows what she's talking about, and I've read the book, and it has everything in there in order for you. It's called How to Create and Self-Publish Your First Book on Amazon in Less Than a Day. And
There's
it
one thing I wanted to mention. When
works.
we talked about self-publishing, Jack Canfield, his first book was self-published,
Mhm.
and then he went to publishing companies. So just know, even the big wigs start small. So while not everybody has a lot of money, start small. Don't use what resources you have. They're valuable. Create your own product. Then when, like Regina said, is if you start to change your branding and you want to go more professional, then hire a graphic designer, hire a publishing company when you're ready. But the idea is to get your name out there now. Do this route. It's so easy.
Yeah, and that's kind of the key. So many people, hesitate because they're like, "Well, I can't do that. It's scary. I don't know how to do that." That's why Tina created her business, Done For You Journals. So I think you still have a done for you, done with you, and
Yes.
then
So
how to do it yourself.
yes. So, step one, this is how to do it yourself. If you're in a hurry, buy the little book. It's on Amazon. I think it's $12. You can learn it step by step. Step two, if you want step by steps with videos, I'm launching it actually this week, the DIY self publishing on Amazon. And that will give you not only a PDF version of this book, but also 4 weeks of short to the point videos along with homeworks to make sure that whatever you're doing after, you'll be able to come to the next session. And if you don't have time to do it that week, you can still catch up in the week after. It's not a whole bunch of information that you're like, oh, I don't have time to do this. No, it's super easy. I even offer you or provide you with the ready-made templates. So you can change them, modify them, do whatever you want. And then the third version is I can create them and customize them for you. So if you don't have time, you're not interested in learning how to do it, I love to do this. So I've done that with the clients that Regina has sent to me, which I love. I've helped one of the clients create her own vision board book. As you see my vision board back there, she's created the beautiful interior
Mhm.
um, for her product. Then I worked with another client who's a coach who created her own, what we call a journal slash workbook. And it's so much fun for me. Some people find it frustrating. I find it pleasurable. So, so book, DIY with the videos, or I can do it for you.
Yeah, so it's all encompassing. So no matter where you are, if you want to, have somebody do it for you, and just say, you know what, I don't even want to think about this, then I'm going to put your information up soon so that you can email Tina, and you guys can chat as to what you want to do. Or she's got the course coming out, and I can tell you right now, the steps and the stuff that she has in there, I know some of the information in there, and it really does, it walks you through. And or buy the book. So nowadays, for me, I'd buy the book. Why? because I got over the angst of, oh my God, I can't do this.
Mhm.
And when I first was thinking about it, that overwhelm crept in with the doing a book is hard. Books are really, really super hard. And then you and I chatted, and I learned, well, they're only hard because I made it that way in my head. It's actually a lot easier than I thought it was. And once I got it done, I was like, wow, that was kinda simple. Yes, it
Mhm.
was we did some work, and we put some stuff, and we had to create the cover and decide what we're gonna do with that, and, there's still some stuff to be done. However, in my head, I was creating this mountain out of a molehill just because I had never done it before. Anything that's outside your comfort zone,
It
you
takes a
know
while.
yeah, that's what you do. You create, and that's where overwhelm comes from. We
Yeah.
talk about overwhelmed to overjoyed, right? And so that's where the overwhelm comes from. It's the stories that you create in your head
Yeah.
of how hard it's going to be to do this. And then you go and do it and you're like, that wasn't so bad. That wasn't so bad
No.
after all.
No.
And that's what you teach people how to do. So I absolutely love the structure that you have because you have those three different options. It's, buy the book, just do it yourself. Literally, I've read this cover to cover, and everything that you need is in here. Follow the steps. You need a little bit more help, and you want, a little more info.
Visuals.
Yeah, you get the course, the 4-module course, and let Tina walk you through step by step by step. And you get the book with it. And what I really love about the course too, to me, this is invaluable, is that you give them the templates. And
You don't
so
need to do anything.
yeah, everything you need. Yeah, you need to decide what picture do I want to put on my cover.
Maybe a
Right,
little icon,
right.
or maybe a brand.
Yeah, if that's the hardest thing in the world, it was like, okay, get your book done today. And
Yeah.
then if you're like, you know what, I'm a busy business person and I just don't have time to do this, literally, you just give the info to Tina and she puts it out there. And I know she's done this because I've referred multiple people to her, and she's done it for all of them. And all of them, some of them were do it yourself, some of them were done for you. It's a little bit all over the place. So I mean, I love what you're doing with this
Thank you.
process because what
This
comes,
is my passion.
yeah, and what comes so easy to you doesn't necessarily come so easy to all of us.
And I'm so surprised at that because I look and I'm like, this is not hard. The only hard decision is trying to decide on your book cover. That's the hardest because there is so much stuff that you want to put on there or so much stuff that you think might be valuable. And then sometimes you get disappointed because people don't like the book cover. So that's the nice part. You can change it. You don't like it, the clients don't like it, you can change the cover.
Yeah. So how cool is that you can just go in and change it whenever you want to? I love that. That's a feature I didn't really realize until we just had this
Yeah.
conversation that I didn't know about, and that you can go in and do that. And so we're starting to come up on our time here. So I do know that you have a gift for everybody today.
What if I
And
forgot what the gift was?
it's the free copy of How to Become a Published Author on
There
Amazon
we go.
Without a Book.
Okay.
That
Well,
live
I even have another offer.
you do.
So, for those of you who are on listening to Regina, I will gladly offer you my 4-week module that's starting in March for half of the price. So it's currently at $129. I'm going to offer it at $65. However, there's a cap. You have to let me know by February 2nd. And I'm positive 65, you can definitely do it within a week.
So it's $65 for the whole program.
Yes. The ready-made templates, the PDF version of how to create and self-publish your book, the 4 weeks of modules. And the other part about that too is that each week I will give you, I will follow up with email to make sure that you're on track. And if you have any questions, I'll be available to you.
And a personal touch. Oh my gosh. This is amazing. Sign up by February what?
Second.
2nd. All right. I am putting that in the chat right now because I just put, oh my God. The 4-week program. for half price, $65 for the whole program if you sign up by February 2nd. And Tina just said you get her too. That is amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Regina.
Whether you're watching this on replay or you're watching this live, I will make sure the links are out there for all the different platforms that we're streaming on right now. If you are interested, if you're interested.
You're interesting.
You got me all flustered now. I was like, wow, that is a great offer. That's amazing. Sign up because, like I said, it works. And $65, it includes this book, it includes the templates, it includes Tina to walk you through the process. And so thank you, thank you, thank you. Do you have any last tips, questions, thoughts, ideas, or anything you want to share before we wrap up?
Stop procrastinating on getting that book done and start with a simple tool of creating a simple journal, because you as coaches are always writing. So why not write it in your own product and keep it and remind you you're getting there. The book will come. The journal can come today.
Yeah. You know what you made me just think of?
What?
Another side note is how many journals I have purchased over the years that I paid somebody else for.
Yeah. I was just going to show you that. Look, these are my last two and I love them. I love my Not Today heifer though.
Not today heifer.
Yeah. Not my problem.
No, I love it. Yeah. And you can make your own journal really quick and then be writing in your own.
Give them.
Give them away, sell them, whatever you want to do with them.
Have fun doing it. That's the big thing. The reason I started this is because I write in journals and I love doing it. It's fun. It's not stressful.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for your time today, Tina. For everybody who's out there, don't pass up on this opportunity. That's an amazing offer Tina just threw out there. She's got her free copy of How to Become a Published Author on Amazon Without a Book. And then she threw in this extra special offer of her 4-week program at half price. So $65 if you sign up by February 2nd. And not only do you get the course, she's going to email you. You actually get her with it to make sure that you're doing it right. How cool is that? So worth it. Get out there, get published. And I guess that's all we have to say about that, right?
Exactly.
I'm excited. Thanks all for joining us on Coffee with Regina. Thank you so much, Tina, for being here.
Stop dreaming, start doing.
I love that cup. That's it. And that's our final note for today. We'll see you all next time on Coffee with Regina. Bye for now.
Bye.